From Psalm 46, I want to add a second psalm that is very, very helpful for me and broaden the discussion of fear to some other experiences I've had. Psalm 56. When I am afraid, I will trust in you, in God whose word I praise. In God I trust, I will not be afraid. What can mortal man do to me? I love this text that recognizes the reality of danger and potential harm or fear situations. And it addresses the core issue, worship. So he says, when I am afraid. And if you follow the logic of this and set apart a couple phrases, it ends up like this. When I am afraid, I will not be afraid. When I'm afraid, I will trust in you, in God whose word I praise, in God I trust. I will not be afraid. So in the situation where people may attack me, previous verse, may slander, pursue me, may lurk, conspire, eager to take my life, whether it's physical harm, robbery, whether it's injury, attack, death at the hands of men. I'm looking at the situation and I'm not minimizing it, but I'm calling myself to right worship. I will trust in you, in God, whose word I praise. So, Lord, how do you teach me to think in this situation? What is the real danger you want me to think about? And in Scripture, we should always be more afraid for issues of soul than the outer man, issues of body. In the previous video to counselors, I mentioned Matthew 10, where Jesus says, I'll show you the one to fear. Don't fear him who can destroy body. So human beings, people, can destroy body. Whether it's on the front, the war zone, whether it's on the tramvai. I had an operation 9 years ago, approximately, in South Russia, and every day I have fear situations, whether it's stumbling and falling because of balance, whether it's probka and push as I'm going from the red line to the blue line, Pedahot. I have to go up steps, down steps, and I'm pushed. I can fall. There's real situations that I experience every day. Last night I was reviewing how much money I had in my pocket, so how many good even, and then out of the corner of my eye, across the tramvai, I saw a younger man, and I'm thinking, now I wonder if he's planning a robbery. I wonder if what are his intentions, right? So how did I respond? Well, I didn't want to trust in man, in other words, in my strategies. I'm going to save myself, I'm going to protect myself, but I also didn't want to tempt God and be irresponsible, so I wanted to do what depended on me, and yet I wanted to trust him. And so I counted money, put it where it needed to be in backpack and pocket, and simply commended the situation to God and trusted him. So there may be a robbery, but I want to do my due diligence. There may be an attack, there may be physical harm. I want to do my due diligence. I think of Daniel 3, which is very helpful. This is ways to think and action steps to take. The three are in the fiery furnace, and they say, God is able to save us from this furnace, and he will rescue us from your hand, O king. And then in chapter 3, verse 18, very, very important, he says, the writer says, even if he does not, right? So even if God chooses in his providence to glorify himself through the death of these three in the furnace, even if he does not, we want you to know, O king, that we will not serve your gods or worship the image of gold you have set up. So, Lord, you are able to protect me so I am not robbed. And I was not robbed yesterday. And I did not fall as I went from one line to another line this morning. But even if I do, I will not save myself. I will not look to another. I'm going to the worship base of how I'm responding. I need to know myself and my patterns. I need to trace my outer patterns to the inner desires that govern. But I will not serve false gods. I won't worship anything other than Christ. So whether it's a Trembai ticket, whether it's seeing somebody who may have seen you count your money, whether it's getting dark and you're on your way to the flat and checking for keys, somebody's coming after you and so on, or following you. You do your due diligence, which you're responsible to do, but you trust God with his part in being the rock, the protector, and even if something grievous would happen, you're going to be most concerned for the soul, not the body. As Jesus says, don't fear him who can destroy body, but I'll show you the one to fear. Fear him who can destroy body and soul in hell. Think of the three in the fire. He's able, but if he chooses not to, it's a worship issue. So just an encouragement, review the previous video, this one with some central texts in Psalms and then the Daniel passage. To walk before God, center on him. Every moment is a worship moment. As I'm saying this, I want to end with a text from Job that impresses me. And of course, it's wider than fear. But think about this with me. What is man that you make so much of him, that you give him so much attention, that you examine him every morning and test him every moment? Will you not look away from me or let me alone even for an instant? So here is our God and Father, our Creator, the one who is concerned for the worship of our heart, testing us in every life situation. Today, what has been fear tendencies, fear issues with things created, with people? Can you identify them? God is testing you. He's examining you. Where is your worship life today?